Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language on Canal International. We'll begin with our top stories. Survivors of the MBANKOLO landslide in Yaoundé are in dire need of help as they have spent nights in open air. Some have succeeded to flee the risk zones, but many are still stranded on the spot. We give you details in this edition of Newscast. And a couple of Nigerian and Cameroonian nationality are currently stranded in India with their one-year-old baby who got paralyzed after being administered a yellow fever vaccine at the Bune hospital in Cliquez. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. Survivors of the MBANKOLO landslide in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, are in dire need of help as they have spent nights in open air. Some have succeeded to flee the risky zone, but many are still stranded on the spot. Let's get a picture of the area 24 hours after with our reporter, Hysencha.
The sitting postures tell it all. They are depressed and helpless, with nowhere to lay their heads after the deadly landslide here in MBANKOLO Yaoundé 2 subdivision. The survivors have been homeless for over 48 hours, sleeping in open air. We slept out with neighbors. We are in an open air. We beg to sleep on people's verandas while waiting to see if other corpses will still be found. I have been sleeping out with my 2 children. Their belongings all out, with children by their side, as they keep wondering on their fate. What should I do in Yaoundé without a house? I don't know exactly what to do with my children. Difficult to have something to bite, nor quench their thirst, though many have lost their appetite as a result of the sad incident which claimed over 30 lives. Some can only depend on people of goodwill who visit the area with loaves of bread and water. And 2 days after, the search for other victims and other valuable objects is still on in the catastrophic area. Some running for their lives, relocating from the risky zone. Others can only sing and look up to God to come for their rescue. Compte les bienfaits de Dieu, mets-les tous devant tes yeux.
And last Sunday night, landslide victims were reassured of free medical attention, reassurance given by the Minister of Public Health following a comfort of visits at the Yaoundé Emergency Center Cliquez at the Central Hospital this Tuesday. Madaoda Malaki came with messages of quick recovery to the victims and compassion to the affected families. Beatrice Ngamo completes that story.
The MBANKOLO landslide incident fresh in the eyes and hearts of this father. Benoit Judicael Diki still finds it hard to believe his son is among the over 30 dead souls gone. It is a relief, but it provokes tears because I lost my son. He died in water. Worsened by the fact that he is now homeless, has lost all in the running water. As a victim, he is receiving medical attention at the Yaoundé Central Hospital. He is among the over 10 victims Public Health Minister paid a comfort visit at the Yaoundé Emergency Center Cliquez and Central Hospital this October 10, with government's promise of complete treatment free of charge. We are comforted. It gives us joy that he has come to see how we are faring. I'm very happy he came and he said he will be taken care of. Wanauda Malashi at each stop listened to the different issues to be handled, helping hospital officials on how they can go about it. Public health boss added, health is our body and the environment in which we live.
We have to pay attention to take care of us, and here we come to say hi to patients and to transmit the compassion of government.
Saluting the prompt care by the directors of these medical facilities to not only the victims but corpses in the mortuary. MBANKOLO, a neighborhood under Yaoundé 2, was hard hit by landslide last Sunday night following heavy rains and a collapsed reservoir. The fear is still on as we are in the rainy season in the capital city.
Meantime, the church is equally concerned about the worries of families affected by disasters in Cameroon and across the world. It is a case of Église Evangelique du Cameroon, which has diverted part of its funds and proceeds meant for the construction of the church to disaster victims by making disaster prevention a priority. More in the full threats to the well-being of families across the world. This disturbing situation is preoccupying to the Evangelical Church of Cameroon.
We needed to make a critical analysis about especially the man-made disasters to avoid this to happen, because sometimes a number of disasters are happening because of so many reasons. For example, buildings, we have to observe how you build our houses, city planning and house planning, how the city has been planned. You find that some areas, even when disasters happens, there is no area of evacuation because of how the city has been planned. But also we have to observe about climate change. Some disasters are coming because of climate change. So we have to deal with this issue. For example, drought is part of disaster. Flood is part of disaster.
The church has devoted parts of its funds and proceeds meant for the construction of the church to disaster victims by making disaster prevention a priority of its humanitarian agenda.
You know, we have the meteorological stations which provide information when there is a disaster, but this information might not be reached to the people who are supposed to get this information. So we wanted to make sure that all areas where the information has to be sent is sent to all people who are supposed to get the information. And we know that the church is also a place where people meet.
Christians of the Evangelical Church of Cameroon gathered in Douala October 23 to reflect on disaster prevention strategies on how to support persons affected by disasters. The stretch of roads linking CFA and deux chevaux in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, is visibly a death trap as it may soon collapse if immediate action is not taken. The heavy crack on the marshy spot of the road is getting deeper and may soon separate the road into two heights and chime. This report brings a danger alarm on the spot's history.
The signs are clear. The danger is visible. This stretch of road linking Sefta Ekunu and Deux Chevaux in Yaoundé is now a death trap. The inhabitants living in fear as the crack is getting deeper by the day and can collapse at any moment. The spot has already recorded some bad incidents that leave the population wondering what may happen next. We have had a series of accidents here. It is very dangerous.
C'est vraiment très dangereux. Il faut que l'État fasse quelque chose.
The state must do something immediately. We all see the danger.
C'est très dangereux. Il n'y a rien à dire encore à part que c'est très dangereux.
When cars are passing here, it is shaking. We should not wait until it kills people before resolving the problem. It is not normal. We are speechless. Approaching the bad area, both vehicles and motorbikes are forced to adjust and drive faster to escape the danger. Even those on foot pray for safety before crossing over. And this is a very busy road where school children move across morning and afternoon. The competent authorities must therefore act and act fast to avoid the cry of had I known, especially at this moment when
got paralyzed after being administered a yellow fever vaccine at the Bone hospital in Kribi in the South region. They say they have been abandoned in India, but the Cameroonian government will send them there with their baby for treatment. More in the following story.
On the 13th of April 2023, in a Bone hospital, Kribi, where I don't have a vaccination, she was given yellow fever vaccine, and after the vaccine, it did not take her up to 1 minute. She became unconscious.
Distress call of a mother to people of goodwill to save her 1-year-old baby who suffered from pediatric paralysis after the child was administered a yellow fever vaccine at a vaccination certified center at the Bone Hospital in Kribi on April 13, 2023.
She was rushed to pediatric gynecology hospital in Douala. All kinds of tests you can imagine. We are carried on her. After all, the doctor came to us and told us that the child's brain is damaged.
When the child's situation got worse, she was referred to the Douala Gynecological and Pediatric Hospital for a more appropriate diagnosis. Unfortunately, her condition did not improve. The couple of Nigerian and Cameroonian nationality sought for assistance from the Public Health Ministry as well as the Cameroonian and Nigerian diplomatic services for medical evacuation to India. All hopes to see the child get to her feet faded out as the disillusioned couple are stranded in India with a visa due expiration by October 18 this year.
I am standing here, this is India, I am standing here in India, this is where we are living here in India. Even the baby, they don't even care about the child. Whether the child is feeding here or not, that is none of their business. Before they could even deposit 50% of what was asked for this child's treatment, it was serious trouble.
With an exhausted financial means and with no job, the couple is extending an SOS for assistance.
I am here to cry out. Oh God! I am crying out to the Lord, to well-wishers hearing me to come to my aid.
As the fingers of the clock tick and as the couple look up for manna, so too the child's condition progressively worsens. And in a conventional turn of combating street crimes, a group of bike riders have taken matters into their hands by targeting lawless individuals in the streets of Ngandore in the Adamawa region. They have decided to collaborate with law enforcement officers to fight against those who engage in illicit activities. More with our student journalist on internship, Kizi Kiga.
The street of Ngandore has become a graveyard for some bike riders. In recent months, bike riders have been falling victim of targeted theft that has escalated into deadly encounters. These thieves use different tools such as clubs and hammers to attack their victims and seize their motorcycles. This shocking event has not only shattered the peace of inhabitants, but has also claimed the lives of several innocent riders. This is one of the hoodlums who fell in the dragnet of officers of the Ngandore 3rd Gendarmerie region. Here, the purported thief, a national from the central at night, a woman, and you come closer to carry her to her destination. Meanwhile, those wicked people are behind her, and they will just put you down from the bike. That is how they deal with us. There are also this group of guys that split the road into two. For example, the case of the 25 bike riders who were assaulted lately. Earlier, the commander of the Adamawa Gendarmerie region presented two different gangs of bandits who were equally arrested. 2 gangs of mafia in this region have just been caught and brought to justice. The alleged thieves use hammers, motorbikes, and other weapons to operate while they consume psychotropic drugs before committing these crimes. Amongst us, the bike riders, they are thieves within us, especially those wearing torn jackets. They should stop wearing them. 2 big different forces were brought to the site in those sectors where the crimes were committed. 42 bikes have been seized. We are reminded that in the month of September, 18 bikes were declared stolen by the bike riders syndicate, 6 persons died, and 8 individuals seriously wounded with hammers, and 4 corpses abandoned in dungeon after an aggression.
The increasing rates of motorcycle overloading and high speed in Ambam in the south region of Cameroon is preoccupying, with an alarming average of 4 accidents per week. Residents are urging authorities to take action and address the hazards of overloading and excessive speeding for the safety of all road users. More on the story with our student journalist on internship, Are Aya.
The city of Ambam is facing a challenging situation involving motorcycle, where overloading and excessive speeding are widespread. Surprisingly, it is common to see 3, 4, or even 5 passengers squeezed onto a single motorcycle. This dangerous practice, combined with reckless speed, have resulted in an average number of 4 accidents per week, causing significant concern and dissatisfaction among road users. It is a very great danger because users are open to all types of accidents, because being overloaded, the driver does not even have control over the car. He is not free in his small movement. Not encourage overloading because their life is at risk. Although the motorcycle industry is regulated, it seems that many professionals in this sector are ignoring the established guidelines. What I will tell drivers is that they should respect rules, reduce the rate of high speeding at the roadside, avoid overloading. The authority have permitted to overload, but not to overcross it. As a result, the people of Ambam are eagerly looking up to authorities to urgently address this matter and reduce the frequency of accidents caused by overloading and excessive speed. The responsibility lies with the authorities to implement stricter measures focusing on enforcing weight limit and speed restrictions. And the broadening support to young entrepreneurs, startups, the objective of an audience with the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, Ashe Basiliki III, granted the World Bank Country Director Sheikh Fatamadi Carter and the resident representative of the International Finance Corporation, Charlotte Dow Sako in Yaoundé. It aimed at sealing a financial partnership for sustainable cooperation between them, very important in the realization of the ministry's vision as in the National Development Strategy. Here's an excerpt of the country's director of the World Bank on the audience, put together by our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo.
For these SMEs to operate, the business environment is critical. Reforms need to take place, and SMEs need to be supported on that area. And second, we discuss how access to finance can be also improved. Access to finance with different instruments. Sometimes it's access to loans, sometimes guarantee schemes, sometimes it's leasing equipment. So we discuss how we could support all those objectives. And finally, access to markets is important for SMEs when they produce, so they are competitive, they can sell, they can supply easily. And so this is all in line with the ministry's strategy with SND30, and we are happy as an institution to be alongside the government to achieve those objectives.
And we've come to the end of this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. Coming up next is The Brief with Lil Pijou. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.